Hi, I hate triggered jokes. Now, some people will have flocked to this video because they saw the title. They will carefully assess the situation, their fingers primed to compose a response. They'll try, to summarize how I must be feeling. What one word would best describe the state that I'm in? And to those people, I say, go ahead. I dare you. Seriously, please do it. It's good to know who the assholes are. Now, some people I might give the benefit of the doubt. You might be young and just repeating shit. When I was an awful teenager, I probably would have been saying triggered too. Maybe I don't know. I don't know what I would have been if I grew up in this era. But I'm an adult, and I kind of witnessed the evolution of the whole phenomena. I remember when I first learned what a trigger warning was. Basically, people who've experienced trauma, certain things can trigger them so that they re-experience the trauma. So, just give them a warning. And when I learned that, I said, yeah, that conforms to what I know about post-traumatic stress. It's logged in my brain. It's great information. It's something new. Not everyone, it turns out, received the information in that manner. Something I would have thought, like any reasonable person, could have managed. But there was this enormous backlash that occurred. And some people just think it's absurd that people could experience post-traumatic stress from anything other than war. Some people really think that only soldiers are capable of experiencing post-traumatic stress, which in a weird way is kind of progress because people used to deny that even soldiers could experience it. For generations and generations, and even going back through the entire history of humanity, I've heard it argued that the further back you go, almost life was so traumatic that people were just walking around traumatized, and anyone you would have encountered would have experienced some kind of post-traumatic stress. But as we move forward, we've found ways to make life less traumatic in some ways. So in a lot of ways, the world as we know it now is a lot better. But there's still a lot of trauma, and post-traumatic stress disorder is unfortunately very common. So it's just weird. I don't understand people who just take a knee-jerk contrary position on it, or just deny. Like it's not up to you to decide who's traumatized and who isn't. It just isn't. Like, I don't experience post-traumatic stress, but if someone does, I take their fucking word for it, because, I don't know, what other option is there? So what, you think it's fucking absurd that people need a warning? Well, good for fucking you, alright? Yay, let's celebrate. I don't know. It just seems like, I guess some people, they think they're being skeptical, but skepticism doesn't need to be willful ignorance. If you're too lazy to read a fucking book on psychology, I'm too lazy to read a lot of things, but I don't just take a contrary position to fill in the gaps just because of what I'm unwilling to educate myself on. It's a position I don't even understand. I don't understand it. When I was doing the Dan Cardiman videos with Mike Booth, I unfortunately just had many interactions with a lot of really awful people, and people who I would assume, if they weren't the architects of the triggered phenomena, then they were definitely at the forefront. And that's really because I feel very close to this in a number of ways. People who I know became the face of the fucking meme. So it's like, I can't laugh at it. For one thing, they're never fucking jokes. Calling them a joke is generous for a start. It's just people saying the word. That puts it a notch below you know, quoting sitcom catchphrases. You know, I haven't seen any variations or like, you know, there's no Oscar Wildes that have emerged, you know, from the trailer. So they're not a joke. Now, some people could argue, and nobody has, but I'll make the argument. I made a video called Making Espresso, where, you know, I buy an espresso machine, and in the course of making espresso, I experience post-traumatic flashbacks of my time as a barista. So someone could argue that I'm making a joke about post-traumatic stress. What I feel, because I made that video out of a genuine feeling of, because I bought an espresso machine and I wondered, because my time when I was a barista originally, this was years ago, I quit my job because of the anxiety that I was experiencing, which did derail my life for a while. You know, it was really inconvenient to quit that job. I had health insurance. In fact, my health insurance paid for therapy. I was seeing a therapist, and my therapist told me I should quit my job. So, you know, so I quit my job and cut myself off from the insurance. So I kind of had to deal with things on my own. So when I made that video, I was working from real feelings, and, you know, so I wasn't trying to diminish the feelings of anyone who actually has experienced post-traumatic stress. So that's how I would defend making a joke like that. And again, nobody's ever even made that point regarding that video. But you could argue I'm making a joke about it. I'm making a triggered joke without using the fucking word. But at least, you know, I'm seeing it from the inside. I'm talking, you know, I'm actually discussing real feelings, and my hope was that people would watch that and would either go, oh yeah, you know, people who've either been through it, or if they haven't experienced it, they would just see things from a different perspective. That's what I was hoping, because humor can do that. Humor can change your perspective on something. So what is the point of a triggered joke? Just to say, oh, it's bullshit. It's bullshit. Why? Because you haven't fucking experienced it, really? Is that's the scope of your comedic vision? Is that because you haven't experienced it, it must be bullshit? Well, bra fucking vo. So there's that. Was there anything else I wanted to say about this? I think I just kind of got that all out in one foul swoop. So yeah, I have no time for that shit, for all the reasons that I have outlined. So you want to say that I'm triggered? Again, be my guest. Makes it much easier for me so that I know who to block. Cheers.